Okey. Then Vicky, you're passing to Noran, pass the link to Noran so that she can feed to the rest. Okay. No, because you have two portable kan? Udah two portable, very easy to pass lah. So supaya tak gerak-gerak mic lah. Ya, sekejap. So 1 minute. Kita tarik dulu.
Ada ini. Pakai elektron, ni tak boleh tulis.
Dia stream.
Ada.
Dia unmute. Boleh go on to
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, so we use the yellow one first, and then by the meantime, Hasbi setting that up. Okay. You use the yellow one. You start first, and then just pass me the yellow. Okay. Okay, we can start already.
Good morning to our esteemed guests, members of the media, to today's joint press conference pertaining to the impending tobacco and smoking control bill to be tabled in Dewan Rakyat this month. We have with us today representatives from National Cancer Study Malaysia, Malaysian Council for the Tobacco Control, Malaysian Medical Association Public Health Society, Malaysian Women's Action for Tobacco Control and Health, Malaysian Association for Adolescent Health, NCD Alliance Malaysia, Malaysian Green Lung Association, Malaysian Drug Prevention Association, Persatuan Kebajikan Rebound Mesra Rakyat Kuala Lumpur, Pertubuhan Kebajikan Pembangunan Insania Muhammad Penduduk, Persatuan Lestari Alam Malaysia, Koperasi Ibu Tunggal Wilayah Persekutuan, and the Malaysian Pharmacy Students Association. We also have some NGOs joining us virtually via Zoom. Without further ado, let's begin today's press conference.
Okay. Okay, you can get this out. Can this really cut kita and salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi tuan-tuan dan puan, terima kasih kerana hadir pagi ini. Bagi my colleagues yang together dalam secara face to face, dan juga rakan-rakan saya dari organisasi-organisasi lain yang berada secara maya bersama kami. Izinkan saya to take a few minutes to introduce everybody around the table. Nama saya Dr. Murali Taran. Saya pada pagi ini mewakili Persatuan Perubatan Malaysia Public Health Society, so MMA Public Health Society. Saya pengerusi. Izinkan saya pass the mic along kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan lain untuk mengenalkan diri mereka, and then we'll let the online colleagues pun unmute lah ya. Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Nama saya Yang Berahi Buang, Presiden Persatuan Farmasi Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Saya Burhanuddin Bisa, Setiausaha Agung Pemadam Kebangsaan.
Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi. Saya Julai Abu Bakar, Setiausaha Kerja Pemadam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera. Saya Rosli-Zawati Muhammad Ali, mewakili Pertubuhan Wanita Malaysia untuk Kawalan Tembakau dan Kesihatan. Juga saya merupakan naib presidennya Majlis Kebajikan Kanak-kanak Malaysia. Terima kasih.
Okay, Rashdan.
Assalamualaikum and selamat pagi. A very good morning. I'm Muhammad Rashdan Rashid from Persatuan Nasional Malaysia and a partner to Pemadam.
Okey. Terima kasih tuan-tuan dan puan, dan jika saya boleh jemput tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang berada secara maya, if you can unmute and introduce yourselves please, Prof and Mr. Subah and Mr. Ruyan and all. Jemput. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi.
Boleh.
Okey, saya Profesor Dr. Muhammad Klinik Muhammad dari Persatuan Kesihatan Remaja Malaysia atau Malaysian Association of Adolescent Health. Terima kasih.
Ya, selamat pagi semua. Saya Julai, mengurusi Pertubuhan Bina Malaysia.
Mr. Subarrao, sir.
Selamat pagi, saya Subarrao, pegawai pendidikan daripada Persatuan Pengguna Program KEP.
Miss Sin, I think from NKF. Okay. Okay, I think beliau berada secara talian tapi mungkin ada masalah komunikasi. She will chime in later. Okay, so let me just give a very brief introduction and then kita akan address semua soalan dan yang telah dikemukakan lah, feedback daripada ahli-ahli parlimen dan sebagainya, and my colleagues will help to answer all those queries as well. Okay, so tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, seperti yang tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sedia maklum, kita dah, saya rasa masuk ke dalam langkah terakhir untuk sebelum kita meletakkan pembentangan Akta Kawalan Tembakau, yang saya kira kita dah start bagi sebahagian daripada kita 1.5 generasi kita orang tengah tunggu untuk dibentangkan di parlimen. Okey. So daripada perbincangan awal dan sesi temu libat urus dan sebagainya bersama-sama dengan pihak Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, dan juga dalam beberapa hari, 1-2 minggu yang lepas bersama dengan ahli-ahli parlimen. Berikut adalah sedikit sebanyak soalan, masalah, isu yang menampakkan ataupun diketerampilkan sebagai kekeliruan dari kalangan members of parliament. So yang mungkin menyebabkan mereka sukar untuk menyokong dan sebagainya akta tersebut. Jadi hari ini dari segi pihak civil society, NGO yang merupakan both bahagian advokasi, aktivis dari segi masyarakat serta juga pakar-pakar saintifik dan perubatan di seluruh negara, kami ingin memberikan sedikit sebanyak penjelasan untuk membantu our MPs to make the correct decision, to be guided in menyokong akta yang akan bagi saya membolehkan perubahan terbesar dari segi kesihatan masyarakat Malaysia untuk satu atau dua generasi yang akan datang. Okay, so first of all, please let me very clearly maintain our stand. Okay, bagi civil society, seperti yang tuan-tuan yang perempuan dari media sedia maklum, kita telah lama face dan berdepan dengan semua pihak untuk menyatakan secara sangat terang posisi kami adalah ban vape. Okey, betul, ini memang konsisten. Tetapi apa yang berubah bagi kami adalah, okey, satu, dalam situasi keadaan negara pada hari ini, serta juga menghadapi realiti semasa, both dari segi ekonomi, secara sosial, secara politik, dan juga yang ketiga dan paling penting adalah serta memahami, selepas memahami, maafkan saya, dan mendalami kebaikan ataupun unsur-unsur positif di dalam akta yang akan dibentangkan secara keseluruhannya. Pihak-pihak civil society, NGO, badan bukan berkanun dan sebagainya, badan bukan kerajaan, maafkan saya, di Malaysia telah we put our support behind the act. Okay, and ini kita telah panjangkan kepada pihak media dan sebagainya, dan juga kepada kita punya pihak yang berkepentingan lah. Okay, tetapi sekarang ada sedikit sebanyak masalah dan isu-isu, like I said, a lot of confusion or macam queries yang ditimbulkan oleh pihak-pihak daripada kalangan our members of parliament. So we are calling this press conference today to clarify some of the queries, some of the concerns, some of the worries raised by members of parliament. So we hope we can address this today very, very clearly so that they understand and can accordingly act in a positive manner towards supporting the act. Okay, so that's the end of my kind of opening statement. So what I'm going to do is, we have about 10 big questions, okay, from parliamentarians yang you sendiri, I think some of our colleagues memang telah laporkan dalam pelbagai media sendiri, and then some of our press statements by themselves, by the members of our parliament. So I will, okay, so our format for today is going to be like this. Saya akan bacakan masalah yang telah timbul, dan kemudiannya saya akan jemput pakar-pakar yang bersama saya, my colleagues from different organisations, or people, my colleagues online, to answer lah directly to the press. Okay, so I jemput, I think we got mic. Saya nak jemput Dr. Cihan, just pull a chair and join us, and Cik Mandy dari NCD Malaysia, tolong just tarik kerusi dan join us lah. Okay, okay. So yang pertamanya adalah isu yang berkaitan dengan sebahagian daripada members of parliament, as well as some they are saying that they voice from their constituents, bahawa kalau akta ini diluluskan akan jadi masalah di mana mereka yang akan berumur 18 tahun dan ke atas tidak akan dapat merokok atau menggunakan vape secara sebebas-bebasnya. Jadi saya nak jemput Tuan Haji Amrahi dan sebagainya untuk to answer to some of these questions. I jemput.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jadi sebelum kita menjawab persoalan tadi, saya rasa kita kena tahu apa sebenarnya keadaan yang mendepani kita pada masa ini. Apa situasi dia? Situasi ini adalah mereka yang terjebak di dalam ketagihan ini, umpama terjatuh atau terjunam di dalam satu perigi buta yang sangat dalam. That is very clear. Maknanya sukar untuk keluar. satu perigi buta yang sangat dalam. Tak ada siapa pun yang nak pergi terkejut dalam satu perigi buta yang sangat dalam. Jadi kita akan ada satu generasi di mana yang dah masuk di dalam itu. Adakah kita nak mengulang lagi, atau kita nak tambah lagi, atau kita nak push generasi baru ke arah itu atau tidak? So kalau kita tengok gejala ni telah bermula puluhan tahun dulu. It's a lifestyle punya issue. It's a lifestyle punya issue. Apabila merokok, rasa style, rasa steady dan sebagainya. Itu saja. Sebab this is behavioral. Sebenarnya banyak kepada tingkah laku. Dan perkara-perkara ni macam saya sebutkan tadi, bila dah masuk ke dalam ini, memang sukar nak keluar. Kita kata rokok ni haram. Tetapi apabila, sebab dia punya keburukan tu kan, jadi walaupun haram, tetapi apabila agamawan terjebak dengan mana, dia memang tak boleh keluar kalau tidak dapat. Walaupun kita tahu bahawa sebahagian daripada rokok adalah mempunyai bahan-bahan daripada sumber yang tak betul, yang babi dalam tu. Dan dia tak boleh lagi, jadi kita kena tolong dia. Itu generasi yang kita tak mau lagi. Kita tak mau lagi ada generasi itu. Kan? Lepas tu bila kita tengok pula, bila dia mula dengan rokok, adakah dia akan habis dengan rokok? Tak. Kita tahu daripada rokok dia pergi ke kedagangan yang dadah yang lebih dahsyat. Sekarang ni kedagangan dadah ni sangat sophisticated. Saya rasa pakar-pakar yang lain akan boleh ulaslah. Okey. So jadi makna yang penting sekali adalah kita kena jangan lagi ulang benda ni. Memang kata Dr. Murali kata tadi kan, pada dasarnya memang kami tak sokong sebenarnya vape ni pun. Tetapi kita mendepani sekarang, okay, what is the next alternative kan? Okay, you nak ada, then you have to kawal lah. Tujuan kawal tu supaya kita boleh membantu ya. Itu satu. Lepas tu kalau kita tengok dari segi yang dah terjatuh dalam perigi buta tadi, macam mana nak bantu dia? Jadi macam kami sebagai profesional, kita anggap benda ni sebagai pesakit. Kita tahu bahawa kalau kita tengok NCD, okay, the NCD, one of the factor yang efek tu adalah smoking. Itu sebab saya selalu kata kepada pakar-pakar perubatan kan, doa bagi ubat apa semua kan, buang masa je. You tak correct kan you tak correct this. In fact, saya dah cakap dengan pakar-pakar, saya kata kalau boleh jangan bagilah ubat-ubat ni pergi suruh dia berhenti merokok dulu. Kalau tidak, I mean to me it doesn't matter. Because ini pengalaman saya di hospital dulu okay, maknanya benda tu mesti kita buat. So jadi pada populasi yang perlu ni, kita kena bantu sebagai pesakit. Itu sebab kami menawarkan supaya pergi kepada klinik berhenti merokok. Dan kami ahli farmasi memang boleh buat perkara ni. We are trained, dan we are going to offer all this lah. So jadi maknanya perkara-perkara ni yang patut kita boleh buat. Lagi satu golongan, ada yang tak mau berhenti. So bila tak mau berhenti, tak apa lagi tak mau berhenti, tu hak you. Tapi minta maaf cakap lah, you masih lagi berada di dalam perigi buta yang dalam itu. So I hope my initial explanation faham berapa besarnya sebenarnya masalah ni, sukar untuk diselesaikan. Sebab kita kena wujudkan perkara untuk sekurang-kurangnya kita berhentikan mewujudkan satu generasi baru. Sebab apabila kita dah ada generasi yang ketagihan rokok, akan timbul pula satu lagi generasi ketagihan vape. Kita ada dua ketagihan, dan dia tidak akan tukar, dia akan jadi dua. Jadi bayangkanlah kalau kita tak kawal, dia akan jadi dua. Itu sajalah dari segi sebagai bukan ini. Terima kasih.
Okey. Terima kasih Tuan. Boleh saya jemput Tuan Burhan untuk berikan sedikit sebanyak ulasan tentang persoalan ni.
Terima kasih. Saya
Feel free to
dari Pemadam Kebangsaan Persatuan Mencegah Dadah Malaysia. Kita masih lagi percaya prevention is better than cure. Prevention, pencegahan, dan akta yang nak dilaksanakan yang dibawa oleh KKM adalah satu akta pencegahan, nak mencegah anak-anak yang lahir 2005 ya, 2005 dan ke bawah ni, kita tidak lagi akan melihat ada yang merokok, kita tidak lagi akan melihat ada yang mengambil vape. Dia kalau ke bawah tu maknanya semakin muda, ke atas semakin tua. 2005, 2006, 2007 yang lahir selepas tarikh 2005 tu dah tak ada lah. Tidak ada lagi yang merokok. Bermakna negara kita akan bebas daripada asap rokok. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang pergi ke kedai makan tidak bimbang akan asap rokok. Sekarang alhamdulillah, semenjak 2018 setelah kita menguasakan larangan merokok di kedai-kedai makan, alhamdulillah pada saya berkurangan banyak. Tidak lagi kita bertegang urat dengan perokok-perokok, memarahi mereka dan sebagainya. Kadang-kadang asap rokoknya, kalau dia hisap rokok, asap tak keluar tak apa, asap masuk semua tak apa. Masalahnya asapnya keluar, masuk ke hidung saya, masuk ke paru-paru saya yang terkesan. Betul tak? Yeah. Bila saya terkesan, saya yang akan dapat penyakit. Kalau dia kata itu hak dia, ini hak saya untuk dapat oksigen yang bersih. Ini yang kita nak memohon kepada MP-MP yang berada di Parlimen. Sama-samalah dengan pemadam dan juga persatuan-persatuan lain untuk sama-sama memastikan generasi Malaysia yang akan datang ini selamat, tidak musnah, sehat. Kalau tidak, saya boleh beri jaminan bahawa generasi yang akan datang akan musnah akibat daripada rokok, akibat daripada vape. Penyakit akibat daripada vape dah timbul. Akibat daripada rokok, boleh tanya Dr. Murali. Berapa banyak duit negara, wang negara yang dibazirkan untuk merawat penyakit-penyakit yang disebabkan oleh rokok. Adakah itu pun kita masih lagi tidak mahu menyokong akta yang akan kita bawa ini? Ini satu akta pencegahan di sekolah. Murid-murid diajar untuk tidak merokok di sekolah, bermula prasekolah sampai ke tingkatan 5. Dalam buku ada, dalam program pun ada. Tetapi bila keluar daripada sekolah, tidak ada satu akta yang menyokong. Walaupun terdapat akta bawah 18 tidak boleh merokok, dia dah lama dah, tetapi penguatkuasaannya sangat kecil. Dan kita mengharapkan, ini persatuan-persatuan mengharapkan, dengan lulusnya akta baru ini akan memberi kekuatan kepada akta lama tersebut, memberi kekuatan untuk penguatkuasaan anak-anak kita, generasi kita tidak merokok, tidak mengambil vape. Dan ini merupakan satu usaha yang sangat baik bagi pemadam, kerana ianya merupakan satu langkah yang pertama untuk menghindari daripada dadah. Saya yakin 99.9% kalau berjaya dikawal anak-anak kita yang berumur 2005 dan ke atas ni, selepas ni dadah pun tak risau. Kerana yang ambil dadah ini bermula daripada rokok. Okey, Tuan.
Terima kasih Tuan. Okey, saya nak jemput di atas talian Prof Haniki. Prof Haniki seperti yang beliau katakan tadi is President of MAA, Adolescent Health Society, tapi beliau juga adalah profesor dan pakar dalam bidang addiction. Prof, ini soalan kedua yang ataupun bantahan kedua lah, senang saya voice it as that. Bantahan kedua daripada Member of Parliament yang dia kata kalau golongan yang sudah mula merokok, okey, apabila kita sampai ke tahun 2005 enforcement ni bermula, mereka ini sekarang tidak ada peluang untuk membeli rokok, membeli vape. Oleh kerana itu, untuk kepentingan golongan ini, Okay, mereka kita perlulah block the act so we can give them access to be able to continue to smoke because it's an addiction they cannot stop. Prof, please prevail on your wisdom on this.
Terima kasih kembali. Isu ketagihan nikotin dalam kalangan remaja itu isu penting kerana kita tahu perokok tegar yang ada 50% daripadanya mati awal. Ya, di Malaysia saja kita tahu hampir 30,000 ikut kajian terbaru, 30,000 perokok meninggal dunia sebagai akibat pelbagai penyakit berkaitan dengan merokok. Dalam golongan remaja, nikotin yang dihantar oleh produk tembakau seperti rokok dan rokok elektronik ini, mereka menghantar nikotin dengan cepat, ya, boleh sampai ke otak dalam masa 10 saat sahaja selepas sejutan itu, dan ia dalam kuantiti yang tinggi. Ya. Kita tahu rokok elektronik boleh menghantar nikotin dengan lebih banyak, ya, berbanding dengan rokok konvensional. Jadi dia menggunakan proses ketagihan ataupun bergantungan pada nikotin dalam golongan remaja. Ini bukanlah satu pilihan atau choice yang kita anggap rasional, ya? Bukan satu pilihan untuk golongan remaja membuat keputusan it's my right, it's my choice. When I'm 18, I should be given the choice to smoke or to vape. Ini bukan kita pakai satu kaedah yang akan memberikan manfaat kepada remaja tersebut, apalagi kepada negara, kerana kita tahu kos yang begitu besar untuk merawat berbagai penyakit akibat rokok satu, dan juga berbagai penyakit yang boleh timbul akibat vaping atau hisap rokok elektronik. Pakar kesihatan seluruh dunia termasuk Malaysia telah mendapati kaitan antara menghisap rokok elektronik atau vaping dengan satu penyakit yang dibagi nama EVADI, ya, Electronic Cigarettes and Vaping Associated Lung Injury. Ini ada satu keadaan yang teruk dalam belanja yang besar untuk rawatannya, di samping memberikan kesan atau komplikasi terhadap pengidap yang berpanjangan. Jadi kos, implikasi kos itu makan bilion, ya. Kita tak anggap ini satu pilihan yang rasional. Mana-mana ahli parlimen yang tak faham konsep pencegahan itu, saya minta dia membaca tentang manfaat mencegah berbanding dengan cuba untuk memberi pilihan kepada remaja untuk mencubanya, kerana otak remaja sangat susceptible kepada nikotin yang membuka jalan atau menjadi laluan pada penggunaan bahan-bahan atau substance yang menyebabkan penagihan yang lain, seperti juga dadah dan terlarang, ya. Selain daripada itu, penggunaan rokok elektronik juga menjadi membuka kepada menghisap rokok. Kalau mereka mencuba rokok elektronik, kemudian kajian mendapati ada peningkatan risiko untuk menjadi perokok atau jadi dual user. Jadi untuk mana-mana ahli parlimen ini, saya sarankan supaya mempertimbangkan untuk mencegah, ya, remaja kita walaupun mereka nanti melepasi usia 18 tahun, kerana perkembangan otak, kematangan itu memakan masa, ya, masih memerlukan masa. Ada kajian mengatakan 21 hingga 25 tahun. Jadi kalau kita beri pilihan kepada remaja untuk mencuba bahan-bahan yang menyebabkan ketagihan ini, adalah amat tidak wajar dan ini tidak selaras dengan aspirasi Malaysia sehat, ya. Jadi kita tak nak remaja kita menjadi penagih nikotin atau apa juga bahan, sebab mereka generasi berlapis. Maka sebab atas dasar itulah generational ending atau generasi beramat ini sangat penting, dan ianya seperti mana yang disebutkan tadi, termasuk dalam draft Undang-Undang Akta Kawalan Tembakau itu, maka ianya perlu diluluskan segera untuk menjamin generasi masa depan Malaysia. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Prof. Thank you. Tuan-tuan, so that is the bantahan yang kedua. Saya sedikit sebanyak we're giving you the facts to see where and mana reality dia lah, to this misperception. Yang ketiga, dia ada juga golongan ataupun grup-grup termasuk our members of parliament yang mengenengahkan this issue bahawa this is a slippery slope. Apa yang saya maksudkan dengan slippery slope? Maksudnya kalau saya mulakan sekarang dengan ban vape, besok saya akan ban alkohol. Kemudian saya akan ban orang naik kereta sebab kereta boleh menyebabkan accident. Dan kemudian saya akan ban makan daging kerana makan daging boleh menyebabkan kanser. Ini semua true scientific facts lah. Tapi isunya adalah that they are worried kalau kita start dengan ban vape ni, kita akan terus masuk ke dalam isu-isu macam ban A, ban B, ban C dan ban D. Okey, bagi to put forward macam the scientific evidence why we are supporting for control, because very important this is control, not ban. Okay, we are only speaking about denying access to this generation yang akan berumur 18 tahun bermula 2005 dan ke atas. Bagi mereka-mereka yang sedang merokok, tak ada perbezaan. Bagi mereka yang sedang menggunakan vape, tiada perbezaan. Very important clarification. Okay, so to kind of explain to you about that, could I invite Datuk Dr. Soundari, Presiden Persatuan Kanser Kebangsaan Malaysia, untuk sedikit sebanyak.
Hi, good morning everyone. I think the slippery slope argument is quite comedic in its way, because there are many substances out there which have been banned for the health of people. Simple things like chemicals which are in buildings, chemicals in foods, etc. All these things have been banned before. And no one has ever said that, oh, it's a slippery slope in terms of personal rights to people. Why should we ban? And especially when we talk about this, we talk about nicotine. As Prof. Haniki has mentioned before, nicotine in itself is unique. You know, when we talk about vaping and we talk about tobacco, a lot of people talk about the harms of tobacco and vaping in terms of health because of tobacco itself. But nicotine in itself has its own unique properties, which is harmful to people. And the unique aspect of nicotine is that it is addictive. And an addiction, once you get addicted, takes away that personal choice that people talk about. It's my personal choice to smoke. It's my personal choice to take nicotine. But once you're addicted to a substance, it is no longer a personal choice. It is an addiction. And let's be clear about that. We have, when it comes to an addiction, we have no choice in the matter anymore. Our bodies need the substance. You know? And it becomes then the chemical which is making the choices, not you as a person which is making choices. Why will it make a difference in terms of the slippery slope that, okay, we can do this with nicotine or vaping or tobacco and we're not going to do it with others? One is that this is evidence-based. Let's be clear, in the 1960s when tobacco came out, if we had the same evidence as we do today, it wouldn't be a substance which is widely available to everyone. There would have been curtailments. People would have put laws and regulations in order so that it wouldn't be so widespread. We have that opportunity now. Let's take it. Let's be brave about it. Remember that, you know, it's not about talking about today's generation. It's not talking about us in our age group. We're talking about supporting and benefiting and protecting the generations to come. So to the parliamentarians out there who are saying that, oh, you know, we're taking away human rights, it's a slippery slope, etc. Remember that we are talking about a generation that you can save. And, you know, if we don't do this now, I ask you in 20 years, realize that this is the legacy that you are putting down, that you were not brave enough to do something that you know is right. This is evidence-based medicine. It's not something that we have plucked from a tree out there. And when you say the slippery slope about other substances, remember, everyone has a voice. And you are there to also defend other substances, other slippery slopes that you talk about. You know, there are people out there, health experts, there will be health experts, parliamentarians, stakeholders who have dialogues at their hands like they do today on all these other substances that you talk about. To be able to look at the evidence, to be able to look at the arguments and then make a decision on what to do. So to say that this is going to be a precedent and that it will automatically mean that everything else can be banned just because, you know, we have banned nicotine or vape or tobacco, that's nonsensical. I'm sorry. Because we are all here to be able to have a dialogue and talk about things.
Thank you, Dr. Sound. Okay, so yang keempat adalah persoalan mengenai effectiveness. Betapa berkesannya akta ini akan will be towards this actually stopping young people from smoking. Okay, so and the argument yang telah diketengahkan kepada kami adalah oleh kerana akta ini kami rasa lah, golongan ni rasa bahawa dia akan kurang efektif, jadi tak payah buat akta ataupun tak payah ketengahkan akta. So bagi ini saya nak komen, saya nak offer dua example. Contoh pertama, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, sebanyak yang kita ambil maklumat daripada industri yang selalu komplain di Malaysia ini, banyak sangat illicit cigarette, illicit problem everything. My colleagues will talk about illicit in a while, tu satu lagi komplain. Tetapi dia komplain bahawa banyak sangat illicit kat Malaysia. Oleh kerana banyak sangat illicit di Malaysia, kita tak boleh kawal golongan yang merokok. Tetapi our data proves otherwise, and I put forward this concept of positive deviance. Kita kaji balik untuk lihat apa yang berkesan. Hakikatnya very simple. Despite there being, according to industry, according to health, kita rasa lebih kurang less than 20%, 25% illicit. Tapi industri kata sampai 80-90% illicit di market lah. So kita ambil, I take industry's word for it, 90% illicit. Tetapi hakikatnya simple. Kadar perokok di Malaysia, despite having such a high illicit, has not increased. You know why? One very, very strong law in effect. We ban young people below 18 untuk use cigarette. Dia tak boleh pakai cigarette. Betul? Memang saya tak nafikan ada yang still tak compliant. But it is a small trickle. Kalau you tak ada law setakat ini yang kontrol kita punya remaja anti 18 tahun tak merokok, I can tell you our prevalence, because according to industry, availability is high. Access is so available. We should be looking at something like other countries. 50%, 60% of our population yang gunakan sigaret. You know why our population tak banyak gunakan sigaret? Because of the strength of the law in place yang dah bertahun-tahun. Itulah hakikatnya yang orang tak cerita dengan you. So if you put in subsequently a law now that will limit the next generation yang 18 ke atas ini untuk get access, saya tak nafikan you will never reach 100%. No law can reach 100%. But what we will do is we will hold back a large amount of people from actually ever starting. Because now sampai 18 tahun existing law, dia tak boleh smoke, tak boleh. right? But after this generation continue on to just not smoke at all. Sure, ada yang akan salah gunakan, ada yang akan reach out to the illicit, but this prevalence, the statistic will be small because the success of the law sebelum ini. So itu by itself, that is a success story sebenarnya yang kita tak report. Yang kedua is the CTPR regulation for kawalan tembakau dan merokok di kawasan terbuka, your restaurant. Although I am a big complainant of this, I yang paling kuat complain among others use the app report lah sejak baru-baru ni, of people who are smoking. All of us I think pernah kena pukul, tak pernah kita memukul tapi dipukul bila kita tegur orang di restoran. But I am quite very happy to share with you all, since about 2019, 2020, since the act came into enforce, I belum kena pukul lagi. So for me personally also, my kadar kena pukul dah kurang. So and I'm sure you all report the same as well, in the sense that memang ada pockets of people smoking, but overall the control from the legislation is effective. Significantly, we can see the numbers of people around us who are smoking in restaurants come down a lot. So that is the purpose of legislation. Both of these is examples of positive deviance. So for my parliamentary colleagues yang argue enforcement susah, kita tak boleh 100%, so jangan buat akta, this is two real life example of the things working in our own country yang dah effective. So will legislation work? It will work. So that is the answer for that. Saya nak ask whether Dr. Chihan or Tuan Rashdan ada any comments to add to that. Sila, feel free, Tuan.
I'd like to comment about the current legislation. Why I think that we need a shift. We need a shift because it's not only the legal argument, it's also a social argument. Because what we worked previously for the under 18 prohibition for smoking, I think it sends a mixed message. Because you know why youngsters, when they reach the legal age, they start to smoke because they think this is what is very cool, because those adults, they can do it legally, so they don't see it as a problem, and it always shows macho-ness and freedom. So when we legalize that, we send a wrong message to the young people saying that, yeah, this you can try after 18, so this must be something normal and acceptable. So we want to put a stop to that, because the GEG right now, the narrative, it gives different narrative. It tells us that not smoking is bad for health. We government, as a responsible body, we need to take action to protect our young generation. And this actually enjoy large support even from the smokers, current smokers. If you look at many surveys done, they actually support this legislation, GEG, to prevent future generation to pick up this habit. And this actually tells us about smoking is not okay, because you know, once you got it, it's an addiction. Why we allow the current smokers to continue? Because we have to realize they are victims of the addiction, and they need help. They need help from the government to stop smoking cessation. And with this policy, that we can encourage the current smokers to quit, because they have to be a good example to the young generations, not to show a good example, so they have to quit. So imagine, okay, according to the census, under 18 right now we have about 9.2 million people. If going by the current prevalence, 21.3% will smoke at any time of their life. So we will have about 2 million new smokers, replacement smokers. If we don't do anything, besides the current measures, we will not significantly go down to the level that we want to achieve, the 5% after 2040. This is impossible. I tell you, without new innovative policies and measures, we won't achieve that. So, okay, we take it. The policy and measures might not be totally effective. Probably there are leakage. There are some youngsters still manage to get access to illicit cigarettes and vapes and start picking up the smoking habit. But if we send this message telling them it's illegal and socially not acceptable, if we can prevent, for example, 80%, let go of 30% probably because not acquires, that we can already prevent about 1.6 million of new smokers. So the government only have to handle 400,000 smokers instead of 2 million. You can imagine how much burden the government is on their plate. So about a lot of resources, not only financially, also human resources. Let the government focus on how to help the current smokers to quit instead of facing new stream of new smokers. So government is this is a very rational policy, not only as for the government and for the society to realize if we don't stop this epidemic, there will be social cost for us to bear. We have to do it now.
Okay, Raja Rashid daripada Persatuan Masyarakat Malaysia, on our talk, apa kita punya pandangan apabila ada di Parlimen yang against ataupun tidak menyokong proses ini adalah apa yang kita nampak ini seperti ibarat membantutkan dia merencatkan usaha kita especially di Persatuan menggerakkan satu plan pembangunan pendidikan Malaysia PPPM 2013-2025 yang mana berfokus kepada kemenjadian generasi akan datang. So apabila kita dah berusaha sudah hampir lebih 10 tahun kita dah buat engagement bersama sekolah khususnya. Kita ada anjakan ke-9 daripada 11 anjakan, kita ada 9 anjakan ke-9 iaitu pelibatan ibu bapa, komuniti dan sektor swasta. Jadi apabila ahli parlimen yang tidak menuntut ini ibarat mereka ingin melihat pendidikan Malaysia di belakang. Kerana apabila pelajar-pelajar kita terlibat dengan masalah disiplin, ini menyukarkan pihak sekolah khususnya apabila kita sebagai NGO ataupun komuniti yang ingin membantu membangunkan pendidikan negara diganggu pula apabila usaha baik ini telah dicantas secara tidak langsung oleh ahli parlimen yang tidak menyokong. Jadi apabila tempoh yang sangat lama kita dah spend, kita dah invest masa kita untuk membantu sekolah biar talking about our future, tapi apabila satu harapan yang kita dah galas sekian lama sebenarnya NGO ini tapi dinafikan oleh parlimen. So this is unfair to all, especially macam tadi saya kata we are protecting our future. That's why when pelan pembangunan Malaysia dilancarkan ataupun National Education Blueprint adalah berhasrat untuk menjadikan kita punya generasi yang berwibawa, berdinamik dan sebagainya. Jadi itu adalah satu yang paling kita nampak utama lah dalam kita nak membina negara. Dan satu lagi, saya rasa ahli-ahli parlimen di luar sana yang tidak menyokong, mereka lupa sekarang ni climate change is real. Okay, one of it yang kita tahu kita ambil di Kuala Lumpur saja berlakunya banjir. Antara sebab kita nampak banyak puntung rokok daripada perokok-perokok yang tidak bertanggungjawab buang. Jadi ini akan menyebabkan anak-anak kita melihat membuang sampah itu bukan suatu yang perkara yang salah. Jadi adakah kita melihat kita kerugian yang sangat besar selain daripada kesihatan dari segi kebersihan persekitaran. That's why Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia melancarkan agenda nasional kesihatan pada 11 November yang lepas, di mana teras keempat adalah kebersihan persekitaran. Jadi ini sebenarnya ialah komplimen daripada apa yang Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia dah lakukan pada 2013. Kita nak pastikan kita ada champion-champion di kalangan anak-anak, tapi apabila kita punya RUU ni, GEG ni disentak oleh ahli parlimen yang tidak bertanggungjawab, tidak menyokong ini telah menyebabkan segala usaha kita selama ini di peringkat semua level, dikatakan semua level, waimah sekolah, waimah komuniti, rumah kebajikan dan semua society yang menyokong telah menyebabkan yang kita tidak boleh move forward. Jadi itulah harapan Persatuan Malaysia, kita nak sustainable community dan city. So dengan adanya RUU ini, kita bukan saja boleh melestarikan ataupun kita boleh sustainkan kita punya community, malah kita punya environment. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih tuan-tuan. So next bantahan or macam worry or concern for members of parliament is apa yang mereka bagi tahu is about illicit. Dia punya argument goes as such, banyak sangat illicit. Sekarang pun you tak kawal. Sekarang pun you tak boleh kawal. So bila you akan ban untuk golongan 18 yang akan datang ni pada 2005, amount illicit akan lagi melambung tinggi kerana mereka ini tiada jalan selain daripada turn to illicit. So this is the argument. Bagi ini saya memang kena surrender kepada the sifu of advocacy on illicit, which is Tuan Subarao. I think he's online with us. So could I turn the mic over to you for a while untuk maybe memberi sedikit sebanyak pencerahan mengenai isu ini. Thank you, sir.
Very good morning, Subarao from CAP. We were just quite disappointed with some of the MPs and someone request for a survey and they were saying
okay, muted, sir. Sir, you're muted. Oh.
Mr. Sabaro, unmute please. You are muted, Mr. Sabaro.
Okay.
Unmute.
in the survey was that more and more younger people are taking this vape and e-cigarette as lollipop. No, they don't care whether it's written nicotine. Even though they know nicotine is very dangerous, but they don't care. No, but the parents are in care, the children don't care, now even the YPs also don't care. So we urge the authorities to put up a total ban and not say nicotine. Nicotine is not a lollipop, it's not a sweet, it's not a bun, but they are tasting it. And now, and more women, young girls are tasting because 16,000 of flavors are in the market according to WHO. So it's a concern issue, everybody. So it's not only for NGOs or anti-tobacco groups, but overall it's a concern of the government. So we urge the ministry to wait and see, do it faster to save the future generation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So sebenarnya dari segi illicit ada 4 poin yang raise. Satu, tuan-tuan sendiri dah tahu minyak masak bila dah kontrol harga di market, supply tak cukup, illicit mendadak. And minyak masak, okay, you can argue lah it's an expensive item or it went to an expensive price, so need to have illicit market to kind of get supply. Tapi seluduk lah, kena seluduk. Masalah yang kedua is how about telur. So telur harga dia 20 sen. Sekarang of course lah ada telur dah masuk RM1, lain cerita. Tapi bila telur we kawal harga, dia akan ada masalah illicit. So sebenarnya irrespective, what's the market showing us? Irrespective of whether or not the product is legal or not, okay, the moment you have price control, there will be an illicit market. So the question from us is, what is the price of cigarette or vape that will not have illicit market? Hai, telur 20 sen pun kau dah illicit market. Kau nak buat sigaret 20 sen at one stick or vape at 20 cent. Will that stop an illicit market? So for us, I don't think so. I'm in real time, we are showing you to you from other products that irrespective of whether or not product is legal, there will be illicit. And illicit is driven by price control. And price control is never something that the market can ever be able to be regulated by non-market forces. Now, one of the good things from the Act yang maybe members of Parliament tak perasan is ada unsur untuk pendaftaran dan perlesenan penjual. It's a very strong and important tool, economic tool. Kenapa? 3 sebab. 1, kalau I dah lisenkan semua penjual, okay, penjual dia dah buka kedai, dia dah employ orang, dia dah bayar gaji, dia dah bayar sewa. So their incentive to run black market operations becomes very minimal, because too much is at risk when you sell from registered vendors. So one of the good strong things in the Act which no one seem to be putting forward is this perlesenan of penjual, which ada dalam Act. So sebenarnya kalau you nak cakap tentang pengawalan illicit, sebenarnya you should be pro for the Act. 1. Yang kedua, the moment you have many registered vendors dan bukannya 1 atau 2, you dah mengurangkan monopoli. The moment you dah kurangkan monopoli, you have market economics at work, and the market will always align itself. Sebab Tuan X akan jual pada harga RM5, tapi I nak curi bisnes dia, I letak RM4.80. Orang ketiga akan letak RM4.20. Yang keduanya dia akan bagi minyak masak plus vape pada harga RM3. In this way, the competitiveness of the supply economics will cause price to drop. And when price to drop, again, I told you, black market or illicit is driven by price economics. The more you have controlled, legal, licensed sellers in the market who are healthily competing, there will be a reduction or absence of illicit. This is in every This is in every single product in every single economy. It has been proven to be true. So again, for us, the idea that don't vote for the Act because it will cause a rise in illicit is not a logical one. Now, the next one, can I ask Puan Liza to comment a little bit on this, and on the next one, which is the next complaint, bahawa banyak peniaga kecil akan terjejas. So quite a few of my colleagues have comments on this. I jemput Puan Liza dulu.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, kita cakap pasal illicit trade. When we talk about illicit trade, we talk about basic.
Kena kuat sikit.
Sorry, can you hear me? Okay. Bila kita berkata pasal illicit trade ni, kita berkata pasal penguasaan. Dan bila kita kata pasal penguasaan, kita kata pasal corruption and on corruption lah. More on corruption and ethics, integrity. Jadi kalau kita tak, at the end of the day, illicit trade ni, it's not about whatever, seperti dia kata lah, whatever you put on the market, they will always try to be a black market. Jadi kita, for us, kita kata kita nak kawal in the sense that enforcement, when we have this akta, everything will be licensed, license of suppliers, license of retailers, dan kita tahu siapa yang membeli juga. Because when you are a retailer, you have to submit your sales record, and on that kita tahu whoever purchases, they have the record of siapa, whether bawah umur ke tidak. It's easy for us for the enforcement to take action. Senang. And then at the same time, bila kita kata pasal illicit trade with GEG sekarang, with GEG and akta, jadi kita inculcate ethics, positive social attributes, so that kita at the end of the day, jangan kita menghapuskan kita cuba menghapuskan corruption. That is good, that yang ramai yang berkata Malaysia ni center of corruption. So this is where kita kata kita can inculcate good social behaviour. At the same time juga kita kata of course we saw bila kita berjumpa dengan yang berusaha Datuk Ayub Khan, we know about cases of illicit trade, and also we know of drugs laced solutions. And ini sebenarnya ada melibatkan penguatkuasa sendiri. So if we don't do this, we don't curtail this, ini akan jadi berleluas. Everybody wants a lot of corruption, a lot of profiteering here happening. Jadi kalau kita perlu kawal, and so that whoever is doing this, it's easier for jabatan for the enforcement, yang the people that are ethical. It's easier for them to take action against those that are not ethical, including their friends or their comrades, their colleagues. Senang nak cerita lah. Jadi because when I go out with you to do the enforcement, and then suddenly I find, Dr. Murali, why are you allowing this to happen? I can report that, because kita tahu itu salah. Jadi tapi kalau tak ada tu, and nobody wants to talk about themselves, everybody wants to do profiteering lah. So a lot of corruption going on. Ini kita kena bendung. And with the vape and e-cigarettes ni, seperti kita lihat rokok banyak rokok seluduk. We know where it is, kita tahu mana landing point. Tapi kenapa kita tahu landing point di mana? Tapi kenapa tak ada usaha untuk curtail? So now with the GEG enforcement, kita dah duduk bincang, we will look at more of a concerted effort, usaha sama bersepadu lah dengan all the enforcement jadi benda ni bukan sahaja terletak daripada Kementerian Kesihatan, tetapi it will be multilateral interagencies, whether custom ke, PDRM ke, immigration ke, it is all going to be bersepadu. PBT especially, PBT because they will have to do the licensing of the suppliers and the retailers. Jadi we can have usaha sama bersepadu on the enforcement, penguatkuasaan sendiri at point of sales. Dan juga kita lihat bila kita buat penguatkuasaan, kita tahu whether the especially when it talks about rokok, e-cigarettes, vape solutions and all that, sama ada benda ni dah didaftarkan. So when you do the enforcement, you can tell benda ini dah daftar belum. Or is this a fake security ink? Is this a fake hologram? Is it a fake sticker? Itu when you are doing enforcement, you can tell. You boleh tahu ni. So kita boleh tahu berapa banyak there are in the market, who is actually dispensing it, but who is actually supplying it. The chain effect is there. And then from there, kita boleh, because kita tengok di UK baru ni, the epidemic, first it was US, and then it brought up to UK, the outbreak of E-Valley cases in the UK due to, we won't name the brand lah, due to this flouting of products in the market yang diambil, yang when it flout the product in the market, it is the young ones, anak-anak kecil, anak-anak muda kita yang akan membeli. They are the ones that will be, cantik, wangi, sedap, bau, it's attractive, packaging pun attractive, everything is very hip. So anak-anak muda that are the ones, the first ones that will be trying it. It's because we saw in the UK, it was the young ones that were affected, anak-anak generasi muda. So bila kita kata hak asasi, especially then I will touch on the hak asasi. Kita kata when we do the GEG, there is, we are taking out their human rights, hak asasi manusia, their personal rights and all that. Tapi kita lupa the generation endgame ni sebenarnya is in line with the United Nations CRC, Convention of the Rights of Children. It is in line with our SDG, health and well-being. It is in line with our Child Protection Act. At the end of the day, what we are trying to do here with the GEG, we are giving them a protection for life. So there is no such thing as we are withdrawing their human rights. We are not. What we are doing is we are protecting their rights. So hak asasi It is their hak asasi to make sure, hak asasi mereka untuk make sure that they have the best of everything. And at the same time, bila kita tengok benda, of course we did not touch on that. Kita kata dalam undang-undang tu orang kata takut penalty tinggi and things like that. Of course kita dah kaji, kita lalu. The current law is even more hefty. The current law is actually more hefty. But what we are trying to do now, especially for children, we want to look at community services. Biar memberi kesedaran kepada anak-anak kita. You know, you have done this. Cigarette butts, cigarette butts, it's practically non-perishable. Satu cigarette butt takes more than 10 years to be disposed. So this is actually one of the causes of flash floods. Kalau kita tengok di BKL itu, that was one of the causes of flash floods. So these are things that kita kata environmental awareness. These are things that kita, with the GEG sekarang, it's easier for us to promote, it's easier for us to educate, to create the awareness on the negative effects, and also we want to inculcate the positive in everybody, the positiveness in everybody, to reduce and then to, of course, to look at ethical positive attributes. It is our social obligation pada anak-anak kita, anak-anak masa depan kita. This is our nation. We're talking about our nation here. We don't want to look at New Zealand. We do not want to look at. We can refer to them, but we don't want to look at them. Let's make our country the best of everyone, of every others. This is what we're looking at.
Okay, thank you, Puan. Saya nak jemput actually Tuan Amrahi and Tuan Haji Burhan for both to comment on this penjejasan kepada punca pendapatan peniaga kecil. Betul ke ni? Pendek kata lah.
Ini sebenarnya tak menjadi isu. Pasal kita ada peluang untuk menjaga bermacam-macam perkara. Pasal apa kita nak sedia duit ataupun rokok dan sebagainya. Right? Jadi saya kepada Ahli Parlimen yang ini menjadi satu isu, sepatutnya lebih lagi pada Ahli Parlimen yang muda-muda ni, patut mereka lagi kreatif untuk menggalakkan berbagai jenis perniagaan. Contohnya yang sekarang ni melibatkan teknologi digital dan sebagainya. We go to the next level of digital marketing and so on. Dan kenapa pula mesti melalui perkara ni? Ya? Bagi yang beragama Islam sebagai contoh kan. Kita dah tahu dah rokok dan vape ni haram, so kita nak jual benda haram lagi ke? Siapa yang galakkan perkara ni? Jadi siapa yang menggalakkan ini, dia akan terjebak samalah. Kan? Jadi mana we have a choice. Okay, we have a choice. Jadi kalau kita nak pintu rezeki kita baik, maka perniagaan kita kena baiklah. The choice is us. Jadi itu yang pada saya pentinglah. Okey. Dan begitu banyaklah peluang yang ada kan. Saya pun nak cover sikitlah tentang mana ada satu keluarga nakkan ada rokok dalam rumah dia. Ada ke seorang rokok? Betul ke? I mean normally betul ke you nakkan ada orang yang merokok atau vape dalam rumah you? Atau you nakkan anak-anak you? Tak ada. Jadi pada wakil-wakil rakyat fikirlah sikit. Sebab wakil-wakil rakyat adalah mewakili rakyat. Tadi disebut bahawa katalah kita kata 21% lah sekarang ni yang merokok kan. Is that the majority? When you talk about democracy, we talk about numbers. Betul kan? So kalau kata saya lah katalah sesiapa menjadi wakil rakyat kan. Kan 80 lebih peratus siapa ni tak isap rokok, 21% yang isap rokok, you nak ikut siapa? Majority ke minority? So you are not protecting. It doesn't make sense. Kan? You wakil rakyat. Rakyat pilih you. Okay? Dan sekarang disebut tentang keluarga Malaysia. So you nak keluarga Malaysia yang merokok kan? Very simple. Okay? Jadi seperti yang saya sebut daripada awal lagi sebab penyakit dia dah lama kan? Jadi merokok lepas tu dia sambung dengan dadang dengan yang tak habis-habis. Kalau kita tengok sahabat daripada pemadam ni tak selesai sampai sekarang. So I think the effort to do this pada saya is for the nation lah. For the nation, ya. Dan benda tu bertepatan. Okay, kita kena protect. Dan saya nak beritahu pada wakil-wakil rakyat, anda adalah wakil rakyat, anda membawa satu amanah dan anda akan dipertanggungjawab. Bukan sahaja di dunia tapi di akhirat. Sekian.
Tuan ada komen tentang penjejasan pendapatan.
Okey, dalam sejak kebelakangan ni 2019 kita tengok bila penguatkuasaan larangan merokok di tempat awal makan, R&R, kemudian kedai makan, sudah ramai yang tidak menjual rokok. Kalau pergi kat kedai pun tanya rokok, tak ada, tak jual. Hanya beberapa tempat sahaja yang masih menjual rokok. Jadi kalau isu tu rasanya tak berapa tepat. Kena buat kajian lagi tu. Kena buat kajian lagi apa alasan nak bagi kepada rakyat bahawa mereka tak sokong. Apa sebab tak sokong? Kena cari alasan lain. Kenapa tak sokong? Bisnes sendiri kot. Ada bisnes di belakang tu kena. Kalau nak sebut kata majoriti 21% aja. Kita negara demokrasi. Boleh pergi tanya ibu bapa siapa yang mau anak dia merokok. Siapa yang mau anak dia ambil vape. Buat apa undian. Kita undi tengok siapa menang, siapa kalah. Demokrasi. Kita buat undi. Kemudian kita tengok pemimpin, kita tengok MP, siapa yang sokong, siapa tak sokong. Selepas ni kita ajar dia PRU 15 berapa hari lagi. Jaga-jaga. Kita mesti menjaga generasi Malaysia. Kita mesti menjaga anak cucu kita supaya tidak terlibat dengan rokok, tidak terlibat dengan vape, dan akhir sekali tidak akan terlibat dengan dadah. Kalau generasi ini terlibat kerana ada MP yang gagal menyokong, kita akan tunding jari kepada mereka. Tamat karier mereka sebagai MP. Ini amaran. Ini nada keras. Kita memang keras kerana kita sudah bosan dengan masalah dadah yang menghantui anak cucu kita. Dadah dengan main-main. Once you try, you die. Itu Singapura punya slogan. Tengok Singapura, tegas, berani. Jangan jadi penakut. Nak lawan dengan pengedar, tokan. Sebab tu kita kena sokong Datuk Ayub. Apa yang dia buat supaya memastikan anak-anak kita tidak terlibat dengan rokok, tidak terlibat dengan vape yang akhirnya boleh membawa kepada dadah. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Tuan. Terima kasih Tuan. So we talk about Tuan-tuan raise a very important point about constituents. Sebab this is one of the macam pushback lah. Oh, saya risau konstituen saya semua banyak perokok. Nanti saya tak kena undi pilihan raya. So saya nak consult or ask to refer to 4 groups of voters who have a stake in this. The first, saya jemput Cik Mandy, wakil daripada NCD Malaysia, which is gabungan persatuan-persatuan yang terlibat dalam NCD, pesakit-pesakit non-communicable disease, pesakit tak berjangkit. So Cik, daripada persatuan Cik, apa pendapat basically your constituent lah mengenai isu ini, sokong atau tak sokong? Message kepada wakil rakyat kita.
Saya tak. Actually penyakit tidak berjangkit ni, it contributes to about 67% of premature mortality di Malaysia. Maksudnya
they died before they should. Okay, so this is 67%, yeah? And tobacco is actually one of the causes. For us, the issue is very simple. It boils down to individual rights. Health is also a right. All of us here have a right to good health, because without health, kita tak akan duduk di sini kan. The other thing is, there is no wait and see when it comes to health. Kita orang tak boleh negotiate dengan heart disease. Tunggulah, jap lagi. I tak boleh negotiate dengan cancer. Boleh tak I stage 3, go back to stage 2. So, our future generation, sama dengan isu climate change, they cannot vote. So it is our duty to vote what protects them, which is their health. So we hope that our parliamentarians will do the right thing and put in the right vote, because this, again, this is simple. Health is my right. You are either voting for health, or you are either voting against it. For life or against life. And the right vote is the healthy vote. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, kita selalu juga dengar tentang pengundi-pengundi muda. Salah satu grup antara pengundi muda adalah pengundi-pengundi ataupun dari group of young healthcare professionals. Just cincai kira, saya beritahu tuan-tuan, golongan healthcare professionals di Malaysia yang berada di umur sekitar 19-20 sehingga 25-26 lebih kurang 100,000 orang. So saya just nak jemput Cik Lau Kai Rao. She is Vice President of Malaysian Pharmacists Student Association. So Miss Lau, what is the feeling among your colleagues about this?
Thank you and good morning everyone. As a youth and also as a youngster, I'm standing on behalf of our few thousands of Malaysian pharmacy students here. I would like to say that being a youngster, we're surrounded by a lot of people smoking around us, and we think that smoking is easily accessible. We can get cigarettes everywhere, from every coffee shops, kopitiams, and even the grocery stores around us. And surrounding us are always those adults saying that, oh, just smoke lah, you can get a peace of mind with just a sip of cigarette. So it's kind of a peer pressure and a negative influence around us that lead us to a stage that we can just opt for smoking when we see stress in front of us as a youngsters. So being able to stop a new generation from smoking, we are able to create a positive impact and also positive influence around us, because people around us are no longer smoking when compared to what we are here in now. When people are no longer smoking, when we are inside a non-smoking, smoke-free condition, we feel more assured and affirm that smoking is no longer the only option we can opt to when we have the stress around us. We can opt to for around many other health style changes. Like we go for exercise, we go for friends, we go for hangouts, we just a coffee or drinks. So it is not a situation that encourages us to be smoker anymore. It's a more healthy impact if we stop a newer generation from smoking. So as a voter, a new voter in this era, we should choose a positive impact, a positive mindset around us, instead of just go for a negative impact, instead of just struggle and say that, oh, people around us just here, we are just following what they did. No, we have the choice to choose what we are supposed to have. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Tuan-tuan, saya juga ada Puan Zin Yun Ho, CEO untuk National Kidney Foundation. Seperti yang tuan-tuan puan-puan tahu, sebanyak teruk kita di kanser, lagi banyaklah orang yang menderita daripada masalah buah pinggang. Puan Zin, any comments or some insights from your representation of the community? Thank you, Puan.
Thank you, Dr. Murali, and good morning, everyone.
Sylvia from the National Kidney Foundation, and probably little known to many, smoking is actually also associated with the rise of risk of chronic kidney disease. And we know that it is 34% higher than those who do not smoke. And as we all know, chronic kidney disease, there's no cure. And eventually, these patients, they will then need to undergo dialysis if, let's say, the disease advances to end-stage renal failure. And the impact of this is not just health, you see, it also impacts the patient's quality of life and work productivity. Because imagine dialysis patients, they need to undergo 4 hours of hemodialysis at least 3 times a week. And this is taking a toll on their lives and work plans, and most of our patients at our dialysis centers, they couldn't work because of this treatment, and they just don't have the quality of life as well. And when you talk about financial impact, they are also burdened economically. Each dialysis treatment out there right now costs around 200 to 300 per dialysis. And the patient needs 13 dialysis per month, and imagine the total cost per year is up to 30 to 40,000 per patient a year. And this is a huge cost for a lot of patients. And not just the B40s, you see, even M40 families could not afford dialysis treatment. So hence, even the MOH predicted that in 2040, tahun 2040, there will be 106,000 dialysis patients in our country, and it will cost the country more than 3 billion just to sustain the life of these patients. Imagine the impact, the financial impact that it has on our country, on our people. Not just the health impact, but also the physical and economic financial impact. So hence, here we at the National Kidney Foundation will definitely welcome this legislation proposed by our Honourable Health Minister to ban smoking and possession of tobacco and vape for the generations born in 2005 or later. This will definitely be effective to remove one of the most significant chronic kidney disease risk factors, especially for younger generations moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Puan. I also just want to call our last person to give some input, which is Mr. Ruyan from Malaysian Green Lung Association. This is a macam community punya effort to stop smoking.
Democracy, right? So we at Minority have done one survey. So the done survey among the respondents who age between 18 to 24 years old. So this group of people, they have not voted in the last year. Meaning to say they will be first voted in the next coming election. So 95% of these 457 respondents aged between 18 to 24, they support this GEG. So politicians and we should listen to the majority of young voters, right? Because they will dictate the future of the country. And I would like to add some points on also because sometimes we have the concerns about the raising of illicit trade of black market if GEG is implemented. So this is my argument. GEG in fact will not only increase the illicit cigarette trade, but it will curb and eventually limit illicit cigarette trade and black market. So why do I say so? You see, high prevalence of smoking, meaning to say there's a high demand of cigarettes. So this is a big problem for illicit cigarette trade, because when there's a demand, there's a supply. However, this equation is not necessarily reciprocal. What I meant is, jika tidak ada permintaan, semestinya ada permintaan. But if you do it the other way around, if there's a demand, definitely there will be a supply, right? Business macam tu. So jika kita tahu, how many is the input cost of
illicit scripture. So we have to tackle this cause. And to look at what actually causes high prevalence is because of the addition of new smokers. New smokers coming into the sectors create a demand for this illicit trade coming. Right? So if you want to end illicit market, you need to reduce prevalence. And if you want to reduce prevalence, you need to cut off the influx of those smokers. So we need to start from a younger generation, which is why we need to have this change in place to stop all the influx of new smokers coming to replace the old generation of smokers. Right? So if MPs had this thought, to do that, clamping down illicit cigarette alone can reduce prevalence of smoking. I mean, they actually market at the wrong tree, right? Because the key of this changing is to reduce smoking prevalence. It's not to reduce illicit trade. Illicit trade, we recognize that this is a problem that we can address. But reducing illicit trade, this is do not reduce the number of smokers. Because when a smoker, they reach 18 years old, they are allowed to smoke. They are given that wide option to smoke. So I mean, addressing illicit trade alone will not help to reduce the prevalence. Okay. So the MPs, right, they should get their priority focus right when they are evaluating this policy, which is going to table and soon in Parliament. Right? And if you want to question illicit trade, they should question the right authority, which is Custom. Custom are the right authority, they're responsible for illicit market, and they have the power to address or curb this activities from ATM.
Okay.
Having said that, we are not saying that the government choose between clamping down this trade or what implement GG. That's actually no conflict to implement both at the same time. But in fact, DG is implementing the custom method, to reduce the prevalence of smoker and then reduce the demand. Then when the traders take lost interest in the shrinking market, then they will go away from Malaysia. Okay. To some places. Right? So here's custom and KKM, they respect the rules of play. Right? There's no conflict again, I emphasize. There's no conflict between campaigning down illicit market and implementing GDG. Right? So for those countries who are concerned about black market can increase after GDG implementation, we should consider and think again. Right? We should be well informed that GDG actually is the powerful policy to address the root cause of our illicit trade, not the other way around. Right? So once you consider address, I think there's no reason for you not to support this new app anymore. Right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, please feel free to take. Ask anything that you may have. Please go ahead. We have quite a significant number of people yang boleh jawab lah. Ada sebarang persoalan tentang perempuan siapa-siapa. Ya, jemput sir. Kalau nak pakai mic boleh ke sini je. Kalau nak dari sana terus je.
Can you hear me?
Can sir, I think.
Joseph from the Star. My question is, there are associations of e-cigarette users who feel that remove vape products from the GEG, stick to just cigarettes only. So I would like to know what the health experts think about it. They're saying that it should be remained as an alternative for people who want to quit smoking.
Okay. So, sir, some of the other people will comment as well. But for us, it's very simple. We know that there is no difference. Okay. Originally, you put this idea that vape is a smoking cessation tool. That's not true. We know now that you are actually using vape if it is actually a cessation tool. Okay, we come back to this idea of patient. If you are a sick person, you got some disease, right? And your disease is nicotine addiction. Kalau you are a nicotine addict, okay, you will go and take medication. Tapi you akan ambil medication from a registered healthcare professional. Betul? So, if you go along that line, vape should be allowed, but put in pharmacy. Put in medical centers. medical institutions. Sell only to patient that you can diagnose. I ambil X-ray ke, I ambil their blood level ke, I can see their high amount of nicotine, then I will treat them using e-cigarette. That is not what the e-cigarette community want. The e-cigarette community wants to sell it everywhere, including in kedai roti canai where it's selling now. So actually, the argument is very contradictory. First issue. Second issue is we are not fighting about cigarette, vape, because all these for us are devices. All of us here are actually fighting against one issue: nicotine addiction. No matter it comes in a Ferrari or in a Mercedes or in a Porsche or in a cigarette or in a vape device, it remains nicotine addiction, and that is the point. So the entire act is to control, limit, regulate, legislate nicotine addiction. That's what this is about. So if you talk about decoupling, it's a joke, sir. It's like I ban you from killing people pakai knife, tapi nak pakai pistol boleh. Boleh. So first, not it's fun. Any other comments, tuan-tuan?
I would like to supply one statistic about vape. Actually, there's 74% of vapers, they used to smoke cigarettes, and 40% are currently both
dual users.
Dual users.
So, and there are the big tobacco companies already start switching their strategy to promote more on the vapes and e-cigarettes, because they say it causes less harm. If you know it's not true, then a lot of time they use this as a gateway to get people addicted to nicotine. Once you get addicted to nicotine, you try anything with nicotine. So that's the risk, that's the gateway. Now the cool device to lure the young generations. That's why we have to regulate and prevent this from happening. Once they get to the vape and get addicted to nicotine through the very attractive looking vape, then they will start smoking cigarettes in future. That will generate revenues for tobacco companies. So be mindful about those tobacco industry strategy.
So I think the important thing here is that nicotine addiction is actually we need to treat. Macam penyakit-penyakit yang lain juga. Ini satu penyakit yang kita kena treat. So bila you nak treat, mesti ada dia punya proses dia, macam mana kita nak merawat dan sebagainya. Dan dia punya tujuan asal dia dalam treatment ni adalah dia tidak berhenti. That is the first thing yang kita nak buat. So kalau kita boleh membantu macam healthcare professional, kita nak membantu, we are doing the right way. Alright, because we have to help. Dia keluar macam saya kata tadi lah, keluar daripada perigi buta yang dalam tu. So kita nak bagi tali kat dia, supaya dia boleh keluar daripada perigi buta tu. Okay, so jadi itu yang kita hasrat buat. Dan kita nilai nikotin dia masih lagi bawah apa ni, akta racun ya. Dia tak keluar daripada akta racun. Jadi perkara tu mesti boleh dikawal. Okay? Jadi itu yang jadi isu. Itu yang jadi isu dia. Yang Dr. Mulai kata is the nicotine addiction yang kita dan kita tahu bahawa apabila sesuatu yang melibat kan otak, jadi dia punya rawatan tu berbagai cara. Sebab ni satu masalah tingkah laku. Satu masalah tingkah laku, saya nak bagi contoh tingkah laku kan. Katalah di depan kita ni ada vape ataupun ada rokok. You tinggal kat situ, semua dia bangun, boleh sampai kat badan kita. Semua dia bangun. Bangun. Rokok apa kan? Boleh tak? So it's behavioural tau. Itu yang kita kena kata. Kalau orang nak berhenti, dia akan berhenti. Kenapa orang sebelah puasa siang boleh berhenti? Kenapa orang sebelah puasa dia boleh berhenti? Luar bulan puasa tak boleh berhenti. Tak masuk akal. So that behaviour tu yang kita kata kita kena treat. Behavioural yang susah sebab di dalam rawatan berhenti merokok ni kita provide both behavioural as well as pharmacological lah. Itu yang saya kata lah. So ingat, it is still patient that we have to do.
Thank you, sir. Tuan-tuan, perempuan, anybody?
Saya tanya pasal
Jemput, sir. Ini. Yes, sir. Baik.
Saya tanya mengenai, kalau kita tengok langkah dinamika hari ini sendiri, pakar-pakar dan NGO yang faham ini. Kita tahu juga IUU ini adalah final lab untuk kita sampai tahap kita berjaya mengawal kajian seperti tentang COVID. Soalan saya, sekiranya masih ada MP yang berubah tak faham sulit kan, dia pelbagai saya bagi apa next move NGO itu.
So, sir, kalau okay, I mean, everybody got him. I think each organisation pun kena bagilah pendapat dia. Bagi kami senang je, kalau kita tak lepas untuk table the RUU kali ni, that means for me it is back to our stand which is ban totally. Sebab which means we are unable langsung to get a consensus on this lah. That means you are, that means how to say, that means maknanya kita dah faham bahawa industry is totally in control. Nobody is really concentrating about the health at all. No, basically no one cares lah about the health. Kau mati macam mana pun kau nak buat duit je. So kalau dah macam tu, then we have to go totally for this one on all out health lah. So but as you can see from the, I think one of our colleagues dekat Code Blue, dalam satu hari suntuk je dia dah interview, dia dah already name and I don't want to use the word shame, tapi name and identify siapa yang sokong, siapa yang tak sokong. So between us, kita ada I think enough people to between the next 1-2 weeks kita dah tahu siapa daripada 222 orang tu yang sokong dan tak sokong. Then it becomes an issue of should we go and explain to your constituents, okay, individually, because all of us are in all the communities. All of us work in 12, 13, 14 states. It won't take much. We will go to your constituency and talk to your constituents and explain to them why you are actually actively going to cause them harm for their next entire generation. And then we ask the MPs, please explain to your constituent lah. Nanti itu yang menjadi persoalan. Tuan, apa tindakan kita seterusnya kalau RUU tak naik? Kalau MP tak sokong, Tuan?
Okay, ini it's still very straightforward lah. Apabila seseorang pemimpin yang dipilih untuk tidak menjaga dia punya rakyat ke ataupun voter ke, nanti dia adalah pemimpin yang gagal. Alright, jadi kita memang bukan nak banyak sangat daripada Ahli Parlimen ni. Cuma perlukan mereka pandang apa yang kita nak achieve selama ni. Jadi apa yang kita boleh buat ialah kita boleh buat polls. Tadi isu kepada pun cakap, to the extent apabila kita dapat tahu ada MP yang against our initiative ni ataupun our harapan ni, apa kita buat, kita boleh buat polls kepada semua ibu bapa. Because it happened before. Untuk predikat kita pernah buat 2013 kita cuba dapatkan data berapa ramai sebenarnya ibu bapa yang terlibat dalam matikan kemenjadian anak-anak mereka. Jadi benda yang sama juga, kita boleh replicate, kita duplicate, kita akan buat poll untuk tanya semua ibu bapa. Jadi kita dapat numbers yang organik. Jadi sekiranya ada parlimen yang menentang, so mereka akan tahulah lebih ada satu gerakan daripada komuniti punya yang concern parent ni, okay, yang nak anak mereka sihat, untuk bagi tahu, sampaikan mesej kepada ahli parlimen ni, please consider our future. Rasa itulah the next move is to get as many kita punya aktivis, NGO, NGI, in fact that siapa saja yang concern about kesihatan ni, untuk bersama-sama send the message kepada all the MPs yang against. Yang sokong ni memang kita akan sokong selama-lamanya lah. Okay, yang against ni, then we will not punish, tapi we nak share our thought. Macam tu je kot.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Use the mic.
Okey, maaf. Soalan tadi kalau benda ini ditolak ya. Seperti kita
Kuat sikit.
jika akta ini ditolak, GEG ditolak, akta atau GEG ditolak, pada kita we will continue. But at the same time we do not want to embarrass anybody. So kita serah pada budi bicara MPs lah. What is important? Health and well-being, kita kata kita propagate health and well-being. So let's propagate, let's support health and well-being untuk kesejahteraan rakyat, untuk keluarga Malaysia. This is what we're looking at. And jika MPs kata kita tak buat education awareness, I'm sorry to say lah, because kita ni dah buka daripada, for us, my watch daripada 2003, we started the smoke-free cities. We started the kesihatan oral tanpa asap rokok. We went down to the schools with kotak kesihatan oral tanpa asap rokok. We went down to the schools with the tobacco-free generation. We have done this to the schools. And then at the same time, we've done with the workplace, we've done the revolution smoke-free. We have done the rumahku bebas dari amalan merokok. My house, my home without smoking environment. And with this kita this My House program kita link with MQuid. If they want the smoking cessation program, MQuid. Jadi kita cuba bantu rakyat. Semana rakyat yang tak boleh, tak mampu tapi ingin berhenti merokok, we look into all these cases. Kita cuba bantu. We have gone down to appeal to various resources that we have, various people that we have, including Baitul Mal and all that, cuba bantu this B40s and orang-orang yang kurang mampu ni how to smoking. We ask Baitul Mal and all this to refer them to Jomquid, and from Jomquid we put them on the MQuid program. Jadi kalau kata kita tak buat, kita tak advocate, we do not create that awareness, kita tak promosi, and we, it is, I rasa kurang. We don't have the budget, but we are doing this on our own initiative. We are not even taking from anybody's money. Bear with me, they can all agree with me that we are all working from our own budget. Kita tak dapat bantuan dari siapa-siapa. But we are doing this because kita prihatin kepada anak bangsa kita. We are worried for our nation. Jangan, because everybody looks at our nation is center of corruption, center of pollution, semua ya. Cigarette butts is one of the form of pollution, floods, flash floods, of course. Basically, kebanyakan is because of cigarette butts. Jadi kita kena tengok semua ini. So don't say that we have not done anything. We have done a lot of things. And it is out of our pocket. We are not even appealing to our MPs for funds. So kalau kata kita apa ni, I'm sorry to say lah, we do not want to embarrass anybody. But it's time for them to actually understand what we have been going through and what we are trying to do. Because kita tak nak, because I'm also representing Majlis Kebajikan Kanak-Kanak Malaysia sini ya, and we also look at the CRC, Convention on the Rights of the Children. We also look at the Child Protection Act. So we look at protection for life, bukan cuma untuk anak-anak, tapi protection for life. Like what Ms. Mandi dari NCD Malaysia was saying, that we're looking at protection for life. Okay. It's not just for now. Thank you.
Can I just lebih kan? Tadi ada itulah saya fahamkan apa yang soalan daripada tuan saya nampak sekiranya ahli parlimen masih lagi negeri area kan, masih ni kami semua NGO ni semua ever willing, name it 3 AM in the morning pun kita boleh datang ke rumah, kita duduk bersama. Pasti rumah minum kopi tu cuma kata. Because this is a very serious matter. Future kita. Okay, so that kalau kita tak faham dengan baca daripada media, kami secara volunteernya, no need to pay us, kita datang rumah. So that will be answer. One. Terima kasih.
Saya rasa jawapan mudah ni begini. Kami membawa suara rakyat. Kalau faham ke tak faham, mesti faham. I think the message is very clear. Kita bawa suara rakyat.
Yang duduk parlimen kena dengar rakyat.
Okay, so ada persoalan lain. Kalau tidak saya just wrap up sebab dah nak masuk hari Jumaat ni. Okay, tuan-tuan perempuan, thank you so much for coming. Three takeaways. Satu is macam saya kata at the start, for almost all of civil society yang terlibat dalam kegiatan anti tobacco control dan sebagainya, for many years we have been against this kind of engagement ataupun legalized vape. We change our stand. Okay, we change our stand sebab we compromise to see the benefit of the act, while at the same time it is protecting the economic interest of the different stakeholders in this country. Satu. Yang keduanya, to all our members of parliament who are still having lot of doubts, we call this press conference today to clarify each and every one of your concerns. And I hope that together kita dah give you all the brain trust, meaning all the intellectual input to help you make a positive decision. Yang ketiga, please also take into consideration that all of us are not individuals. All of us are big pockets of constituents, not small pockets. All of us are big national organizations within our own communities, within all your states, and we work in all your constituencies. We are putting forward to you not only our voice, but also giving you the strong support at YB that the majority of the Malaysians, not the 21% sahaja, in fact dalam 21% pun yang merokok tu banyak yang menyokong, that the majority of this country, of your constituents, are with you in supporting you to do the right thing and support this RUU. Sekian, terima kasih.
Sikit, I'll just add just one. When we had the Gegar Wanita recently, 8 hari bulan Julai, we managed to get, we had 350 NGO supporting us, and that's not small. Yeah.
Okay. Jemput yang.
Doctor, you see. Sometimes you chair the press conference, you have no choice. Okay.
Terlalu lebar.
Azim belum?
Ayam ada. Tak, yang ni rokok tak kena dengan ayam.
Silakan.